Thank you, Speaker. I would just like to start off Geseënde Hemelsvaartdag and bless a Sessions Day. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank
The
you.
BF Plus is not here today to rubber stamp political convenient documents. We are here to defend the ratepayers, restore fiscal discipline, and demand accountability for a municipality in financial distress. This budget tries to paint a picture of stability, but the numbers betray the truth. Revenue collection sits at around 77%, exposing a massive shortfall in cash flow. The city remains trapped in a weak liquidity position, unable to meet its financial obligations without juggling payments and relying on accounting optimism. How can we support a budget built on revenue that is not being collected and spending that cannot be sustained? Proposed tariff increases are justified by operational backlogs and infrastructure constraints. Yet, residents face affordability issues due to economic stagnation and high unemployment. This is a brutal blow to already struggling households. The cost of living is suffocating our people, and this city chooses to balance its books on the backs of residents who already receive inconsistent, poor quality services when they receive any service at all. This will drive up arrears as more residents and small businesses default, not due to unwillingness but inability to pay. The result is a collapse in actual revenue collection against the 90% target in the budget, a target that is both unrealistic and untested. High tariffs will force more residents into debt they cannot afford to pay, increasing applications for the city's debt relief policy. This will cause an imbalance between paying customers and those receiving debt write-offs, ultimately weakening Ekurhuleni's financial sustainability. The more unaffordable services become, the more residents default. The more they default, the more they rely on debt relief. This creates a financial imbalance that weakens the city's ability to deliver services, balance its budgets, or invest in infrastructure. The result on fiscal risks include cash flow problems, inability to fund capital projects from own revenue, increased borrowing or emergency budget cuts, National Treasury withholding grants if revenue and spending targets are missed. The city admits that indigent households exceed free basic water limits, costing the city up to around 2.5 billion annually. Yet there is no credibility, enforcement, no proper metering, and no plan to curb the abuse. How can we justify passing the budget while the most basic internal control limiting subsidized consumption is missing? This is financial negligence disguised as compassion. This budget speaks of growth and infrastructure, but the reality is essential services are crumbling, infrastructure backlogs are growing, internal departments lack capacity. The idea of economic growth becomes meaningless when residents live in darkness, walk through sewage, and drink from JoJo tanks. Where are the basics? The budget process began around 10 months ago, yet we are still faced with shifting revenue targets, vague performance indicators, lack of ring-fence funding for key maintenance and upgrades. This is not planning, this is playing roulette with public money. The public participation was advertised, but communities lost faith in the process. Concerns raised during April consultations appear nowhere in the final budget. The voices of our residents were ignored. The process was performative. In conclusion, Speaker, this budget fails the basic test of credibility. Exploit compliant ratepayers to fund inefficiencies, ignores the warning lights of a financial collapse, continues to reward poor collection with higher tariffs. This budget is not sustainable, and it is certainly not in the best interest of the people of Ekurhuleni. This budget might be politically convenient, but practically dangerous. The VF Plus cannot support a budget that jeopardizes municipal sustainability, burdens ratepayers, and weakens payment culture. Thank you, Speaker.